Good, Dean. Nice to meet you.
Nice to see you, Dean. Oh my God.
Point is, you're not going to be Trump, and all the money you're wasting could go to better causes. Because I represent science. Take a look what happened. You should see the light from the ground of the king of the night.
Too much of what's happening in our country today is not normal.
Top shareholders of all of these corporations are Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street, the big three. Doesn't matter how many different companies you look at in all of the different parts of our lives.
And there's an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. We will do whatever we need to do to make sure that there's enough cash in the banking system. And there is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
I am the storm.
Well, mateys, welcome to Spitting Truth with Titus. And this is show number, who fucking knows, we've been here so long. What's up out there, fellow pirates? Let me get an R in the chat, mateys. We got lots to discuss tonight, so I won't bore you with a bunch of bullshit at the beginning. This is a news program for those who want to know what's going on out there. And there's quite a bit going on. So I thought I would pop on here and do another news show so that you guys have some idea, since the alt media doesn't cover a lot of the stuff that I cover. I'm giving you guys a unique view on the news you won't get anywhere else. And one of the things that they won't tell you elsewhere is that the only way to tell the truth is through fiction. We have this talk.
It's my
here.
distinct pleasure to introduce Richard Thiem.
We're obviously not going to listen to the whole thing because it's 50 minutes long, but it's an important documentary slash speech slash whatever you want to call it that goes through how they tell the truth through fiction. So when you're like, oh, it's weird we see all of this truth in movies and all these things, well, that's because the only way they can tell the truth is through fiction, right?
Trying to be of service and value to the people you have come to love, which includes this weird collection of people here at DEF CON. So, let's get going. The only way to tell the truth is through fiction. Where did that come from? Let's see if we can get this to work. Nope. Keeps doing the same thing. There we go. All right. It is no wonder how complicated things get, what with one thing leading to another, said E.B. White, and he wasn't kidding. It's a Mobius strip. In other words, when you set off on the journey to find out what's real, you are walking on one side of the strip, and you are convinced that there is another side of the strip, and as you come around, you know how a Mobius strip works. You find yourself always on the same side. My intention is to describe here what the world since World War II has become. I did this at Besides and asked who had been born during or before World War II, and my hand was the only one that went up.
There you go. We live in a Mobius strip. Is it a simulation? Some people would say, yes, it is a simulation. And shit like this doesn't hurt their argument. Romania is just a badly programmed video game. Let's have a look. 100% simulation confirmed. I'm now convinced. Alright. Well, we live in a Mobius strip simulation where we already know what the end is, and we can just trust in that we're on the way to it. And how do we know that we're living near the end times? Well, I don't know if we know that or if it's just the same satanic elite that have been in charge since forever. These same groups of people get into power, they use the banking system to do it, and then they, in secret, do their little weird rituals, and then as they... What was that again? The only way to tell the truth is through fiction. They use comedy to show you the truth of what they're really doing. Bad comedy, by the way. So here you go. This is what the elite are actually all about when we get into who they really are. And here's them just shoving it in your face in plain sight because, oh, this is all just quote-unquote comedy, right? Because this is hilarious.
When you lie about a birthday at Brindley's, you must pay the ultimate price.
Sin!
Sin! Sin! Sin! Ostendi mihi, indica mihi, pregas lamastu.
Behold the summoner! Behold Lamastu!
Lamastu!
Lamastu! Lamastu has seen through you!
Oh, great! Now they've summoned Lamashtu! Now drink! Drink of the blood of Lamashtu!
None of this is funny. This is just cringe as fuck. So why are they doing it? Like, who is this for? Why would they be including this type of comedy? I mean, it's right-wing people who think they're up to this. Right-wing people don't watch SNL because it's garbage, liberal crap. So why would anyone on the right even watch this? So this is being done for who exactly? It's being done for the elite because they like to shove the shit in plain sight right down your throat. Like, oh yeah, we're worshiping Lamashtu. That's what it is. Right.
Guys!
Just drink the blood, Jenny. It's free. Relax.
Drink! 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 Now you are rebaptized by the Mother of Beasts.
The mistress of insanity.
Blood
The magician
rituals.
Pazuzu cannot save you now. Heed the road.
And it's like, you know, Lady Gaga's doing this and it's all just a big joke. She hangs out with Marina Abramovich, who does this shit for real in, like, public. And openly admits that these are real rituals and weird stuff that she does with blood and semen and all that stuff. She does all of that stuff. There's all types of pictures with her with Marina Abramovich. So it's not, you know, out of the realm to say that these people really do this weird crap and they're just trying to do truth in plain sight through comedy, even though it's not comedic at all.
The demon dog.
How do they even check if it's someone's birthday?
We send someone to the hospital you were born at! And with over 100 locations on the East Coast, it's not hard.
Hey, is there a restroom?
Oh, sure, back there and to the left.
Okay, well, at least the blood of Lamashtu didn't awaken anyone.
The blood of Lamastu awakens Molaram! Come, birthday girl! Come with Molaram!
You guys, you can't just let Bolaram lead me away!
Okay, it's friendlies, Jenny. He's being friendly.
Bring me the cage of false birthdays! Om Namah Shivaya! Om Namah Shivaya! Om Namah Shivaya! You have betrayed friendlies! You have betrayed Lamastu! You have betrayed Kalima!
And yeah, this is basically a scene from Sanctum, is it not? There, Shitstorm is here. This is basically every day at Sanctum in LA.
Guys! You stop me! I would, but I kind of want to see where this goes.
No, you don't want to see where this goes. Nobody does. Stupid, horrible bit. Meanwhile, oh, this dude here, someone at Real Ben tweeted out this. In case YouTube's watching this, this is a horrible video that some asshole put together that is just being horrible about the lovely Steven Spielberg, who's made great movies like E.T., where an alien grooms a young child, or I don't know, what else has he made? He's made a bunch of, like, subpar movies that everyone thinks are great. Yay, Steven Spielberg. I guess some of them were good, right? Some of his movies, I can't even remember which ones he did. But the question you have to ask yourself is, do we say, because Steven Spielberg made so many good movies, that he's allowed to like rape and murder children? Is that kind of the trade-off that we've decided is okay as a society? That if this guy practices a certain religion, that he's allowed to just rape and murder children as long as his movies were good enough? Like, because it seems like that's kind of what's going on here.
I may end up running off with you myself, you know.
That's what Steven says.
It's Steven Spielberg?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good director, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg is a pedophile.
I'm not suicidal.
Can you tell us a secret about Steven Spielberg?
He eats babies. Whole babies.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg, not such a great guy. Not such a great guy. But you know, the problem with people like Steven Spielberg is, if you think about all the movies he's involved in, every one of those movies has royalties still being paid out to people. People are still making money from all the movies they were actors in or they produced. So all the producers of his movies have money on the line. A ton of Hollywood is tied in with these movies that he's made, and they're big time moneymaker movies still to this day. So there's still people who are financially dependent on Steven Spielberg doing well. And that's why he is so protected. It's because of all the money he's made those people. So whenever you criticize him, they circle the wagons like crazy because they all want their money for all those movies he's made, you know? So, another guy they all circled the wagons around, which I find is hilarious, is Hunter Biden, who claims he can't sell his art and is broke now that daddy's out of power. Which just goes to show that all of this was just money laundering, just blatant money laundering to the Biden family. People were paying more money per artwork than they were paying for Picasso paintings. Hunter Biden's artwork had higher price tags than Picasso's. That's insane. That is money laundering. 110%. Everyone that is involved in that should be investigated and arrested for money laundering. No one is buying a Hunter Biden painting for hundreds of thousands of dollars unless they are trying to buy something else with that, which is the definition of money laundering. And this is the stuff that we came across with the whole pizza party thing, because all these dudes had museums so they could all do this crap where art just sells for whatever someone owes someone else for other services. And then they're like, oh yeah, this piece of shit artwork is worth... This is like, it does, like, artwork is so arbitrary. I was in the Tate Modern Art Museum in London, and they had, I shit you not, you can go look this up online, a blue fucking square on the wall, and it was worth like $5 million. It was just a blue square. There was nothing unique about it at all. Just a blue square. It was worth like 5 million pounds or whatever it was. There was someone had taken a receipt, like a shopping receipt, where they had bought just items that were white. And I shit you not, that was an art thing in this museum. A fucking receipt from a store. And they said that was worth like millions of dollars. Art is the most like blatantly obvious thing they use for money laundering. It's just insane. What's up there, Lift the Veil? Nice to see you here. Thanks for stopping by my little channel. So, apparently Biden was on vacation when he signed 6 pardons for criminals, which means they were faking his signature. You can see that here. Right? Blatantly obvious. That's a major crime, forging someone's signature like that, especially the President of the United States. So once again, they've been caught with total effing nonsense. I don't even think Joe Biden is alive. I personally still believe he died back when they were saying he had COVID, and then he pulled out of the race, and then no one saw him except for body doubles that were different heights after that. I can't believe they haven't announced he's passed away yet. Like, at some point soon, you're going to see Joe Biden no longer alive, and they're going to roll his dead body out of the freezer, and they're going to march it down to a grave somewhere. This is why they had to fake the signatures for this stuff. Oh yeah, he was down in the Caribbean his last day in office. Right. I'm sure. He was down in the Caribbean in a freezer, maybe. And this is hilarious. These liberals online, on Twitter and stuff, this Sybil at Ahashi or whatever, tweets out, and this is like the stuff that, I don't know why, but ever since Elon bought Twitter, all of a sudden I'm just on the For You tab. If you hit For You on Twitter, I just get loaded with like Democrats saying the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. It's like Twitter's like, yes, we want you to spend your entire day sending memes at retards. And I'm like, look, there's only so many of these people I control on a daily basis. That's how I came across that Tizzy Entertainment sexual predator. Anyways, talking about sexual predators. Like, look at this tweet. 50 years with the same woman. Wasn't there some sort of weird thing about the age there, right? Like, wasn't she like 13 or something when he met her? All right, 0 scandals. We can definitely debate that. Like, literally Joe Biden's entire presidency was just one scandal after another. Of course he was boring, too boring for the mainstream media. No, the mainstream media just couldn't talk about him because they had nothing nice to say. So it's that thing where your mom's like, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all, right? That was the mainstream media on Joe Biden. But I mean, not one hair sniffed. Like, these people are crazy. It's just... So, good news. Utah to become first state to ban fluoride in the drinking water. So after RFK Jr. has been sworn in, you're already seeing improvements in the health in various ways. And we covered one of them last week, I believe. And here's another one where I thought they like removed the thing keeping vaccine companies from getting sued. They like removed that, right? So in this week you see an entire state banning fluoride in the drinking water. And it's not that you don't need fluoride for your teeth. It's that putting it in water and then giving it out equally to everyone at the same dosage is not how you should do it. Some people drink a lot more water than other people, and those people are getting too much fluoride and they don't even know it. You shouldn't be doing it this way. Like, this is just not the way to do it. No one should be having fluoride in their drinking water. In Falmouth, where I live, they don't put it in the drinking water. So, like, it sometimes is town by town, but, you know, it should not be done. And here's another medical truth that we covered a long time ago, just like the fluoride thing. And during Corona, we identified that nicotine in its purest form had a lot of medical benefits. Not that it cured anything. No one ever made that claim. It just has medical benefits that would have been beneficial to people suffering from various symptoms of the Corona chin. That's all we ever claimed. And like, you know,
nicotine is a published.
So this is not unusual information to like EC Boxy or the other people that were in my chat that was like crowd surfing the internet for this type of information, and we were putting it out there, and we came up with a lot of like really good intel for people, like vitamin D, hugely important, you know, this pure form of nicotine, hugely important, cannabinoids, hugely important, you know.
Cure for Parkinson's disease, MS, Alzheimer's, ulcerative colitis, all arthritises, all of them. Psoriatic, gout, osteo, rheumatoid. Did you know it's also a published cure? I already mentioned it, myocarditis. Did you know that during 2021, while we were all locked down at home during COVID-19, that our government in the United States was paying researchers to investigate 2 of the 36 poisons that were found in all COVID patients, and they injected them into mammals and created within 72 hours glioblastoma tumors. Right. And then they were paid by our government to see if they could reverse glioblastoma tumor formation that they created in 3 days or less. And do you know what they dissolved within 72 hours glioblastoma tumors with? Nicotine. So I'm about to teach you something else you may not know.
Sure, I'm open.
So I just mentioned a whole bunch of medical conditions that are improved with nicotine or prevented or cured and published to do so. Did you know that autism traits?
Yeah.
They've already investigated nicotine patches between the shoulder blades of all children and adults, and within 7 days they see improvements in all their symptoms.
Yeah, so this is the type of stuff that the medical industry should be researching but doesn't, because they're not looking for cures for things. They're looking for ways to treat the symptoms, because that's how you make money, right? You don't make money finding cures for stuff. You make money in treating the symptoms for the diseases that you release to the public. Oddly, the dude Carl Lundstrom, who is the co-founder of the Pirate Bay, matey, has reportedly died in a plane crash in Slovenia at age 64. Authorities say his Mooney M20 aircraft went down in northern Slovenia when flying from Zagreb to Zurich. Bad weather, info on the Clinton family, pissing off Mossad-run Hollywood by violating their copyrights. Who knows what was the cause of the plane crash, but all we know is that the co-founder of Pirate Bay has now been killed in a plane crash. And there's been an awful lot of plane crashes lately. That's all I'm going to say. And we have been warning about critical infrastructure being targeted, especially in the airline industry, for a while, because all of these systems are built on systems that have back doors in them by foreign adversaries of the Western nations. So you have a ton of Russians now living in Israel, and Israel has a ton of backdoor access into all of these critical infrastructure systems. I'm not saying that's what happened here. I'm just saying, you know, it's kind of strange. This dude died in a plane crash, and no one's talking about it, of course. But anyways, as a little tribute, let's have one of my favorite internet songs, the Pirate Bay song.
Our music is for free, you can download MP3. Keep it playing on repeat, if you hate it, press delete. Our music is for free, you can download MP3. Keep it playing on repeat, if you hate it, press delete. Click it, save it, see it, share it, blink it, stream it, we don't pay. Click it, save it, see it, share it, blink it, stream it, Pirate Bay. Click it, save it, see it, share it, blink it, stream it, we don't pay. Click it, save it, see it, share it, blink it, copyright murder!
music industry in despair. It's a little bit queer, but have no fear. Let's get connected, peer to peer. We don't give a shit about a copyright law. We take it from the rich and give it to the poor like a high-speed internet Robin Hoods. Pirates can't go file, share wood. You can find anything if you seek. Government secrets on WikiLeaks. Images of naked celebrities and Jamie Oliver recipes. Doesn't really matter where you're coming from Barack Obama to Kim.com. Everybody downloads pornography and dubious a collective MP3s. Our music is for free. You can download MP3. Keep it playing on repeat. If you hate it, press delete. Our music is for free. You can download MP3. Keep it playing on repeat. If you hate it, press delete. MP3 is for free. Download now ASAP. Once you hear it, you will see it's mega hit. OMG! Instructional video, how to start doing living room surgeries on open heart. Blueprints of NASA satellites and stolen numbers of credit cards. If you want a new album from Rolling Stones, entire season of Game of Thrones, it's a little bit illegal, but that's okay. Let's do it like they do on the Pirate Bay. Let's do it like they do on the Pirate Bay. Let's do it like they do on the Pirate Bay. Let's do it like they do on the Pirate Bay. Let's do it like they do on the Pirate Bay. Click it, save it, see it, share it, link it, stream it, we don't pay. Click it, save it, see it, share it, link it, stream it, Pirate Bay. Click it, save it, see it, share it, link it, stream it, we don't pay. Click it, save it, see it, share it,
And
link it,
now
stream
the
it, Pirate
filter.
Bay. All music is for free, you can download it for free. Keep it playing on repeat, if you hate it, press delete. Our music is for free, you can download MP3. Keep it playing on repeat, if you hate it, press delete. Our music is for free, you can download MP3. Keep it playing on repeat, if you hate it, press delete.
It's one of my favorite videos. Absolutely epic. Off to the Pirate Bay where everything is free. Because fuck Hollywood. NASA has released a historic video from the Parker space probe, the first spacecraft to, quote, touch the sun. Capture the sound of solar wind as it entered the star's atmosphere. Some crazy shit. The more that I see of what's out there in space, the more I am convinced that we are living in a spiritual world, and all of that shit is pretty scary out there. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure I'd want to be out in space. It's definitely the ether, and whatever the sun is, it's like a giant plasma ball. I'm not sure sending anyone into it would be a good idea. Obviously, they're just sending a drone or something in there. That shit is going to get absolutely fucking fried long before it gets anywhere near the actual sun because of all the electromagnetism. Space is some scary stuff. I think like Event Horizon's like one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. DOGE and Trump crushing it over there. So let's go through some of the DOGE stuff. And like DOGE has even like affected people like me. So like I'm for all of this DOGE stuff. It's hurt me in the like business world because we got a contract that has been held up because it's a part of like the review that's going on across the thing. So we have like a frozen contract in my real life that's, not, great because it's a huge, very profitable contract for us, but it's just one of many they have held up as they review everything. but it'll get unfrozen. It's just a matter of time. But that's the thing. So everyone has to take a little bit of a hit because they're going through and, you know, they're getting rid of the waste. So all the people that are not causing waste, that are actually producing good stuff, they get held up as well for a little bit. So everyone is going to take a hit for a little bit, but in the end, in a couple of years from now, when all of this government waste is out of the government and the government is actually able to put this money towards things that actually matter, hopefully, everything will be doing significantly better. I mean, the one thing they still have not addressed, of course, is the Federal Reserve, but cutting spending on stupid bullshit and cutting out corruption is definitely something I'm for. So you should have a much smaller government than we have now, and the only way to do that is start to cut as much of the fat as humanly possible. And just to remind the liberals here, this is not a Trump original plan. This is stuff that the Democrats have offered to do but never actually did in the past. Let's see Obama in his version of DOGE when he took office.
Everyone knows that getting rid of the deficit will require some tough decisions. And that includes cutting back on billions of dollars in programs that a lot of people care about. But what should be easy is getting rid of the pointless waste and stupid spending that doesn't benefit anybody. Waste we should be getting rid of even if we didn't have a deficit. Sure, some of these cuts aren't that big, but no amount of waste is acceptable. Not when it's your money. Not at a time when so many Americans are already cutting back. Just as families are living within their means, government should too. Did you know the federal government pays for a website devoted to a folk music ensemble made up of forest rangers? They're called the Fiddlin' Foresters. I'll put their music on my iPod, but I'm not paying for their website. And there are hundreds of similar sites that we should consolidate or just get rid of. By the way, you're not only paying for websites no one needs, you're paying for thousands of buildings all across the country no one uses. For the last decade, the government's owned a massive and completely empty warehouse in the middle of Brooklyn, for example. Now, the government hadn't been able to sell this building and others like it because of red tape and Washington politics that held things up for years. But we're finally cutting through all that and plan to get rid of these buildings in the months ahead. We need to step up our game. We need to go after every dime. We need to make government work for you. That's why, starting today, I've asked the Vice President to lead a renewed effort to hunt down misspent tax dollars in every agency and department of this government. We're calling it the Campaign to Cut Waste, and I know Joe's the right man to lead it, because nobody messes with Joe.
There's a new standard by which the government is going to function from this point on. The American people are entitled to transparency. Look, a lot of this depends on...
Did he just say the American people are entitled to this? I mean, this shit is great. This is some Class A LARPing comedy by these guys.
A new, sophisticated methods, but it also...
Joe Biden is going to lead a thing looking into government corruption and waste. And he's going to bring transparency, this guy.
It also, we know, depends on relentless focus on making this a priority. Focus that can't be delegated. We're holding ourselves accountable, and we're deeply committed and focused on making government function better. We're not just eliminating fraud and waste. We hope to be instilling an entire new culture that not only our administration, but every succeeding administration will in fact pursue. We're going to give you the government you expect and deserve.
Yeah, so this whole Doge thing is not an Elon Musk original or a Trump original. This is something they all say and do. Like, if all these politicians are like, oh yeah, we're going to cut waste and blah, 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 blah. None of them actually do it, of course. This is the first time we've actually seen any legitimate cutting down of waste. Now, one of my theories is I don't think Elon Musk runs his Twitter account because this dude is prolific on Twitter. I'm talking in a way like you don't have a job and your only job is to tweet type of way. There's no way that Elon Musk is like watching that many videos, tweeting them out. Like he must have like, you know, he had Harry Big Balls or whatever auditing the Doge stuff. He's got his brother, you know, Jimmy Little Balls running his Twitter or something, because dude is tweeting a lot. But is Elon Musk getting it? Like, I mean, this is the questions that must be asked. Like, this is the stuff he's tweeting out. All of the communist parties, upon attaining power, have become completely merciless. But at the stage before they achieve power, it is necessary to use disguises. Alexander Solzhenitsyn, warning to the West. Which means Elon Musk is aware of the other Alexander Solzhenitsyn warnings to the West, which there are plenty. You know, a lot of them you can apply to what we have going on. And you could say that, like, the people that Elon is working with, like some of these IIA assets like Alex Jones and those types, are, you know, the infiltrators that he's warning about. However, he does seem to get it. Like, you know, this is another tweet from Elon Musk. Men die in trenches every day while politicians and warmongers eat gourmet meals. Which is exactly the problem. Like, these bankers sit there and fund both sides of the war, while average people, like in the Ukraine situation, you have these Russians and these Ukrainians. I mean, they're having to conscript Ukrainians into their military service to get them to fight. Like, do you really think it's fair that, like, the bankers are using their puppet government in Zelensky to drag people out of their homes and force them into a drone war where people are just getting annihilated by drones left and right? I mean, it's like unbelievable. And Zelensky's marching around, canceling elections in his country, and marching around being the quote-unquote leader of Europe, the leader of freedom and democracy, according to the left. It's absolutely insane. This is what's going on. This is what always goes on. This is every war. There is no war that's not like this, except for, like, the very rare necessary conflict, such as the revolution in America where we freed ourselves from the banking cartel. That was one of the only necessary wars. So, is our future this? Is this all just, like, shit to make us feel good while they, like, bring us into the future they wanted anyways? Like, Elon Musk, is he on our side, or is he just, like, some psyop by the elite to basically trick us into the Neuralink and all the other bullshit that comes along with Elon Musk? Like, in 2036, are we going to be fighting on Mars for Elon to colonize this planet?
Get up! We're almost there! Almost where? Where are we going? Just over that last bridge! Victory!
Yeah, I think this is probably the future that we're looking at. This is all just, you know, they all, like, if they don't get rid of the Federal Reserve, then you know they're not on our side. That's, like, pretty much the only, it's like the new litmus test. And you know they know about it because Musk and them have been tweeting about the Federal Reserve and the giant problem that it is. But, you know, there have been lots of wins for the American people, which happened last time Trump was in office. It's almost like if the American people band together and vote Trump into office, they allow America to get, like, a bunch of wins in terms of policies to kind of, like, keep the American public at bay. They're never going to address the, like, real issue, which is the banking cartel, but they're going to give us some wins, like stuff like this. So you can see here, over 165 school employees have been arrested or sentenced so far in 2025 on charges relating to child sex crimes. Massive pedo crisis in our schools, but they're clearing them out. So that's like a good thing. And this is what the police should be investigating. It's so easy to set up like fake accounts and then have these like pedos interact with it and incriminate themselves, and then you just arrest them, and then they don't harm anyone. They're just interacting with some officer running a bunch of fake accounts. It's not that hard to do, and you could nail like a ton of people that way. It's so easy to do. They have these people on YouTube do it now as like a career. There's like a whole like predator catching community, and people like Alex Rosen do this stuff all the time. Why aren't the police doing it? They should be doing this. They shouldn't be sitting. They should get rid of speed limits and just make it reckless driving if you're going too fast, especially on the highway. And they should focus on shit like this instead. In a crazy 12, this is like, so trying to keep up with the news cycle to bring you guys a show is hard to do because there's so much going on at once. You can see here, this is just like this dude's 12-hour news recap, right? Like, there's just a ton going on. Like, a ton. Trump revealed new details about FBI investigations into 2 assassination attempts against him, questioned why key information remains undisclosed, raised concerns about suspect Ryan Rout's multiple cell phones, some with strange markings and foreign apps. Kharkiv, Donetsk, Odessa, and western Ukraine suffered missile, drone, glide bomb attacks, causing widespread destruction. Ukraine said this was the largest scale Russian attack involving ships based in the Black Sea since the start of the year, with up to 20 missiles fired overnight. Major U.S. satellite company has cut off Ukraine's access to battlefield imagery after an administrative request linked Trump-ordered intelligence ban. Kiev relied on Maxar's data to track Russian troop movements and assess infrastructure damage, making this a major blow to Ukraine's defense efforts. And this is what I was talking about. If they pull Starlink and all these other U.S. satellites, then they're not going to have any targeting information. And the only thing that's kept Ukraine in this war so long is the fact that they have good artillery and good drones, and they're able to use satellite intelligence from the United States in order to target stuff. If you recall, the very beginning of this war, Russia lost a ton of its top officers. And people are like, how in the hell are the Ukrainians killing all of these Russian officers? Like, that's unusual, like, high number of officers being wiped out. That was all from satellite stuff from the US, where they were able to be like, yeah, drop a artillery shell right here, you know. And without that, Ukraine is in, you know, real jeopardy of getting its ass absolutely handed to it very quickly. So, hopefully, they got into like a ceasefire, and hopefully they can just negotiate some sort of peace, like a lasting peace, where both sides have to make concessions and the fighting and the death stops. I think that's the best option here. Like, Ukraine's going to have to give up some territory to Russia. They're just going to have to. You know? They're going to have to be like, oh, fine, you took some of this territory by force. You're just going to have to let them keep it. Like, I don't see any other way. It just has to somehow come to an end. But this is, you can see this is just like all of this stuff. China reaffirmed its stance that Gaza belongs to Palestine. Blah, 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 blah. 12-hour news. Like, it's just crazy. Trump established the strategic Bitcoin reserve and U.S. digital asset stockpile. So, this is the thing. Like, maybe Trump and them are going to create, like, some sort of cryptocurrency reserve and then get rid of the Federal Reserve and shift everything over to actual US dollars. Because Trump did say that thing about how the greatest period in American history financially was when we didn't have a Federal Reserve. Right? So he knows, like, I don't know, like, I see them setting the stage for stuff like that with this, with the Bitcoin Reserve and all that. Like, why else would they be doing that? Because they know Fort Knox is empty and they know they need to, like, establish the foundations of a new financial system before they take out the previous one. So here you go, like, the waste they've been finding is just insane. So some of the COVID-19 relief loans went to children, like literally children. And not like a couple dollars worth here. We're talking $300 million plus dollars. That's a huge amount of money. It went to kids. Somehow. Somehow they messed up that badly that children were receiving $300 million. This is the type of stuff that just drives you absolutely crazy, you know? And here's the response. So, like, they're finding stuff like this that's going to, by cutting it now and being like, all right, this is ridiculous, and cutting these problems out so they don't spend this type of money in the future, the whole economy will be doing a lot better because this type of money is just going to people. Like, a lot of the US aid money was going to people doing, like, absolutely ridiculous nonsense that doesn't benefit anyone. Like, people teaching queer art programs in Afghanistan. How does that benefit anyone? It doesn't. It doesn't benefit anyone. And the person running that program was probably getting huge money. And the thing is with that, it's like, if they're getting, like, all of that money, they're not contributing anything to society. If you cut that money from them and they have to go out and get an actual job, like maybe, okay, now they're not running the queer art program, they have to go work at Starbucks. And they go get a job at Starbucks, and then Starbucks doesn't have the labor shortages it has because all these idiots that got, like, art degrees that went on to do meaningless jobs like teach queer art for the US aid program in Afghanistan. Those people have to go back into the real workforce and actually produce for society. Do something that actually does something for the rest of us. You know? So that just makes society a lot better. Like, it just takes a while to actually see these changes and the effects they have. It'll take like a few years. And then I think you will see that a lot of what they're doing is having a very positive effect for everyone. The Fed will be integrated into the crypto market. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. I'm just saying, like, I'm seeing movement in that kind of regard in the comments that Trump made. And Elon Musk made comments about the Federal Reserve and everything that were not too flattering. But here you have the people that are opposing the waste. Like, this is the response they had to, oh my God, I had to respond to an email. Like, what the fuck? You can't just respond to an email? It's not that hard. Like, if you really don't want to respond to it, just write back like, you hurt me in the feels by making me respond to this. I'm not telling you what I did. Right? You could have just done that. Like, that would have been a response. They were just looking to see if these people that were on this, like, email and pay list were even, like, alive and or responding to their email. Like, basic stuff. They didn't actually care what you did last week.
Wake up, or when you're on your weekend and you get the fork in the road message, or you get the subsequent 5 bullets. Hey, what the hell did you do, you lazy federal worker, this week?
That's not how it was posted. That's not how it was written. If I wrote the email to you, that's how I would have wrote it, but I'm not sure they wrote it that way.
How frightening is it that someone on X,
frightening? It's frightening to get an email asking you what you did? That's crazy.
Owner of X speaks to you directly to say, what did you do last week at work? And if you don't answer, I am going to fire you.
Why is she wearing a mask outside in the sun? Like every scientist and all that, all the health experts have all now come out and admitted the mask thing was bullshit. Like, they've all admitted it now, lady. Like, it's not even like there's truther people that think that, right? Like, it's completely been fully admitted the mask thing was bullshit. Like, they've even come out and said during the California wildfires that masks don't help. And smoke particle is like 1,000,000 times larger than viral particle. Like, this is like, these people are so dumb, they shouldn't be a part of the government anyways. Like, if you're that low IQ that you're still wearing that thing outside in the sun, which kills viruses, that's why it's so hard to transmit them outside. Like,
but even more egregious, the president comes out, the most powerful person in the land, and endorses that message. How do you think that makes federal workers feel?
Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best.
No, they're not. These are not our best federal workers they're sending. And here's the left when they actually get into power. You can see Romanian riot police beat citizens as deep state crushes protests. After banning the elected president and ruling he can never run again, authorities are now using brute force to silence dissent. Here's your free Europe, right? There you go. They're just taking over countries and banning the elections. So there's no elections now in Romania. There's no elections now in Ukraine. There's no elections now in, what was it, Serbia? It's just, and no one elects the people that go to the European Union, right? That's all unelected positions there. So, I mean, they're basically just going into complete authoritarian government with no elections in the EU, as they get to import like half the third world into their countries. It's going really well over there. It's really a shame the Alps are in Europe because they don't deserve them. Beat it, bozo. So South Africa's ambassador to the United States is no longer welcome in our great country. Ibrahim Rasool is a race-beating politician who hates America and hates at the president. We have nothing to discuss with him, and he is considered persona non grata, says Marco Rubio. They must have, this fucking guy must have really pissed off Trump, huh? South Africa fucking, you think Canada blows, South Africa really blows. Here's a white cross is placed for every farm murder of a white farmer / Boer that is committed in South Africa. This resembles genocide. there you go. What you're looking at is genocide in South Africa of white people. Because they don't talk about it a lot, but the most persecuted religion on earth is Christianity, right? And in the actual global, like, thing, there's not a lot of white people, but they have spread across the earth and delivered God's message everywhere they've gone. And they basically fit all the descriptions of the actual ancient tribes of Israel that have dispersed across the planet and have not been given back Israel yet, because that's done by God, not by the Rothschild family, and by force through terrorism, which is how they created the modern state of Israel. The Bible says it'll be done in like one day by, like, you know, supernatural powers, not by like the Balfour Agreement and like secretive elite fucking nonsense, you know. Unreal. Shelton Snow, an air traffic operations supervisor at the FAA, prominent figure inside National Black Coalition of Federal Aviation Employees, was allegedly caught on undercover audio explaining how he will help minority air traffic controller candidates cheat. So this guy...
Watching the Suburban Associate members, brothers and sisters, listen. It's been a really busy time for me these past...
It's like, you know...
stages of this hiring process. There are some valuable pieces of information that I have taken a screenshot of, and I'm going to send that to you via email. Trust and believe it.
Trust and believe. So, trust and believe what he took screenshots of was all the answers to the test. And then he sends that only to minority candidates so that they can get hired as air traffic controllers. That's not like an important position or anything. We shouldn't have an actual merit system. No, this dude here should be hiring his brothers and sisters because they've had it tough. It's just ridiculous. Meanwhile, we have here at the Autism Capitol, Donald Trump has taken to selling electric vehicles at the White House with Elon Musk. Not the best look. This is something Biden did, and we all made fun of Biden for doing this. And now Trump is doing this stupid nonsense. I do not get the appeal of electric cars. Electric cars were invented in like the early 1900s. When you saw them compared to gasoline cars at the time, the horsepower you got out of the electric engine was nowhere close to what you get out of the gas engine. And today, in the modern day age, these electric cars have a range of like 200 something miles, and then you have to let them charge for like 45 minutes minimum if you can find like some sort of super fast charging station. And then you only get another like 250 miles or something, and then you have to sit for another 45 minutes to charge again. Where meanwhile, I had a like Mercedes diesel in England recently, and that thing had a range of like 600 miles, and it had plenty of pickup for a diesel engine car. Like, the thing absolutely could tear when I wanted to. So, like, I do not see not answering that, Ricky from Sunnyvale. That's a funny question, though. Anyways, I just never saw the appeal of the electric car. I still don't. I never will. I do get when you have like a Lamborghini, for instance, and they have the electric engine in there with like a 700 horsepower gas engine, and then you have faster pickup off the line because the electric engines are faster, like, 0 to 60 or whatever, and then the gas engine takes over when you need that real power. I totally get fusing the two things together and using the best of both technologies. No problem with that at all. What I don't understand is the fully electric vehicles, because like on a cold day they have like battery issues. I just no. I can't get, like, the main thing is I can't get from where I live to the ski mountains in an electric vehicle without having to stop to charge it like twice. So there's no effing way. And then once you get up there, like, you wake up in the morning and it's like 0 degrees outside Fahrenheit, and your car, does it start if it's an electric car? You know, no, I do not want that at all. Sorry.
Tesla. Going on now at the White House Tesla Auto Mall. It's the biggest sale of the year.
Very safe, it's very strong, heavy, it's all steel, stainless steel.
Come on down to Pennsylvania Avenue, just off Route 29, to get our best deal ever on a brand new Tesla.
I want to make a good deal here. They have one, which is $35,000, which is pretty low.
Get a Model 1 with a different panel and everything's computer.
This is a different panel than I've had. Everything's computer.
So don't waste your time going to those other Tesla dealerships with riots and flaming cyber trucks. You gotta come down to White House Tesla Auto Mall.
I love Tesla.
You gotta come down to White House Tesla Auto Mall.
This is really amazing.
Tesla.
Tesla. Trump. Why is Trump letting Elon Musk run the White House? I don't get that. I thought Trump was like the alpha in that. And here we have Biden selling the EVs at the White House, and then Trump doing it. So somehow Trump is bad for doing the same thing Biden did. I think they're both bad for doing it. I think it's a bad look for both of them to be doing this. And this just goes right to the fact that we now live in a corporatocracy, a bankster world corporatocracy, where corporations run everything. This is the future that we're looking at, the future we are now currently in. Corporations control everything, and they don't have to abide to any of the Bill of Rights. So corporations don't have to abide to the First Amendment. They don't have to abide to the Second Amendment. They can ban you from taking your firearm into their private business. They, all these things they don't have to abide by, and they're taking over the entire planet. So it's not a good thing. Multiple Democrat NGOs have coordinated attacks on Tesla dealerships, staff, and vehicles. Last night, a number of Cybertrucks were torched in Seattle. Democrats are becoming increasingly more desperate and violent. And yes, the Democrats are becoming extremely dumb, and we're about to get into that. But, they called this domestic terrorism. Come on. It's not terrorism, it's vandalism. And, I hate when they do that. There's no need to add on things to things that already exist. Like, if someone murders someone, and then they're like, oh, well, it was a white guy murdering a black guy, so it's a hate murder. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's still just murder. Like, murder is murder. Vandalism is vandalism. Just because they're doing it for political motivations doesn't mean it's anything more than vandalism. See what I'm saying? I hate all these, stupid things they try to add on to stuff to, make it worse. When people did, the group tour of the Capitol building on Jan 6, that was literally just an unscheduled group tour. I don't know why anyone got in trouble for that.
Gosh, a Tesla Cybertruck is on fire. All right. There's a fleet of Cybertrucks right now. Unbelievable. Seattle fire on the scene.
So you gotta get out the sprout.
Breaking news.
I personally think the Cybertruck looks stupid, but my kids love that thing. So, my kids see one of those Cybertrucks and they get all geeked up. They're like, "Oh my god, it's a Cybertruck!" I'm like, "Yep, it's a Cybertruck, all right." I mean,
I'm sorry?
Get off the front.
All right, you've got dozens of firefighters now putting out flames. on the Cybertruck, absolutely insane. Look, you still see flames right underneath the Cybertruck.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Those things will burn forever because they have like batteries in them, like lots of batteries. So you can see here the dirty tricks campaign against me and my companies happened exactly as predicted. So, you know, he must have known all this kind of stuff was going to happen when they started going hard in the paint against all these things and pointing out the corruption and cutting fraud and, you know, shutting down this Bankster war in the Ukraine. We know the Banksters don't want that to end. That thing's supposed to go on for another couple of years. I mean, they're having a lot of fun killing people with drones, and I don't think they want that to end. It's very expensive, and they're creating a lot of collateral damage that they can loan to rebuild. I mean, they're having a great time. If they shut down that war, I'm not sure the you know, banksters from hell are going to be too happy about that. And here we have the the leftist useful idiots. Can we put an entire country on the list for the I Find Retards account? This account is great. If you're not following this account on Twitter, I highly recommend it. It's at I Find Retards. They find some gems, and all of your favorites are on there, I'm sure.
Some might call it a smashing good time. A nationwide surge in frustration over Trump's tariffs on Canada has sparked a new idea at a rage room in Halifax.
What you see here is a drop in a bucket.
Owner Terry LeBlanc is giving customers a free frame photo of U.S. President Donald Trump to smash.
Normally I don't really get political. However, I feel with everything going on in the world and what's happening these days, I feel like this is needed.
The Rage Room provides a safe space to blow off steam by breaking electronic and household items.
We're entertainment first, and if you get a little stress relief out of it while you're here, then it wins both ways.
And people are having fun.
Well, I have a little souvenir that I'm actually going to keep. Just hang it up, you know. Marks break stuff. Sorry, Donald.
It's kind of freeing. It's very nice. It's almost therapeutic. It was great. I loved it.
While this reporter shouldn't participate in any political smashing, I do want to alleviate some stress and break some random objects.
Extras on the Smash menu are 25% off in opposition to the tariffs. The portraits have been donated to LeBlanc by Quinprint and are printed on Canadian paper. The shop is bracing for impact from Trump's proposed levy and is worried for its customers.
People are feeling the pinch, and at least as far as my clients are concerned, it's the folks who can afford the pinch the least.
Framed photos of J.D. Vance and Elon Musk are available as a pair for $5.
Maybe,
100%.
I guess maybe Canada's going to have to give in. Or are you guys just going to keep smashing photos?
Of which will be donated to Feed Nova Scotia.
So far, everything's been positive.
Like, I hate Donald Trump. He's such an idiot. Smash. Ah.
And when it comes to how long the portraits will be sticking around, LeBlanc hopes until the trade war ends.
Oh no, the
Sky
trade
Bride and
war.
Blom, Global News, Halifax.
Look at this guy. He's like...
Sky Bride and
Smash! I smashed that one good, yeah.
Blom, Global News.
Ooh, smash! I got him. I got Trump. Ooh.
Halifax.
Ooh, look at me smash. Oh god, it's so bad. The left has no idea what the thesaurus is. They're all... This is the thing. This is like what we saw with the news media. They're now doing this, and I've pointed this out before, where they all say the same thing, right? This is not the first time I've seen this. They do this shit all the time. When they were, like... There's a bunch of different examples of this, too. Like, when... they were the people doing the acolyte stuff for Disney. There was like these accounts all over Twitter that were promoting that horrible show, The Acolyte, and they were all saying the same things about it. And then, like, they would all be retweeting each other and stuff. So it was like a paid giant bot network that would all put out the same takes, and then they'd all get like huge engagement on these like ridiculously dumb takes. And you'd go and like look at the responses, and it's crazy because like most of the responses are negative. So it's like, you know, it's just crazy. How the internet works is crazy. Much like Sex Panther, 50% of the time this propaganda works 100% of the time. It's crazy, like you can see like the same thing here. They're all saying the exact same thing. It's kind of nuts. Like, who's writing this and giving them these scripts? You know? Literally writing the exact same thing. But yeah, of course, I think some of these people, their Twitter accounts are probably run by their secretary or whatever. And it's not actually them on Twitter, right? So they just have like some secretary and they just put out very edited and controlled tweets. So, if I had to take a wild guess, this is just some script they were all given and decided to tweet out. And none of their secretaries decided to change it. They just put the exact same thing out there. It says I'm AI because I put on that there might be AI videos in the show. So, like, you have to choose if there's AI or not in your content. So, if there's, like, videos that are AI, then you're supposed to turn that on. So, and because there's, like, videos, like meme videos that I have tonight that are probably AI, I just turned it on. So that's why. I'm not AI, but there you go. Unless,
we will not.
You know, of course, I was murdered during the Ides of March, and this is just a AI, like, machine doing my voice, and there's someone there just typing out what they want the AI version of me to say. So, I could not even be here anymore. Who knows?
Not take a lecture on decorum from a party that incited an insurrection. I appear to live rent-free in the minds of some of my Republican colleagues.
So you can see here, Republicans are weird and bizarre, says cross-dressing congressman. And Milo goes, took balls to say that. Took balls.
I wish that they would spend even a fraction of the time that they spend thinking about me, thinking about how to lower the costs for American families. I wish they would spend a fraction of the time that they spend thinking about me, figuring out how to make government actually work better, rather than making it work worse in order to prove that government can't work. They are obsessed with culture war issues. The Republican Party is obsessed with culture war issues. It is weird and it is bizarre, and the American people deserve serious legislators, serious elected officials who are focused on bringing people together to deliver real results for the American people, not to play games and not to engage in schoolyard taunts.
Oh well, schoolyard taunts are gonna keep coming, boyo. And here you go. Here's some other people that Trump managed to piss off in Switzerland. This is great. This is the non-bizarre, not totally strange side. Here's your totally normal. And you can hear Mrs. Butters tweets out, Trump managed to piss off Switzerland. The entire globe hates him. Okay. Your terms are acceptable to us. These are the people he pissed off. Don't care. I don't. This good. Look at this shit. What the fuck is that? Is that Trump flipping everyone else off? It was 1911. What is going on? Why are all these? Oh my God, there's more. Mine had the rainbow flag on its finger. Look at me. I'm most special of all the middle fingers. Is that a fucking bird? Are they gonna sacrifice that thing at the end of the parade? Oh no. That's the last time anyone saw that bird. That's the person they put in the wicker basket at the end of this thing. And then everyone had roast whatever bird that is. I don't know. I guess the bankers are pissed. They're out there in their like weird middle finger costumes. I'm offended. And here you go. TikToker says he wants all Republican women. We're real close to this guy's face too right now. Look at that face. This face says he wants all Republican women to be gang raped on national television and that it would be a cathartic experience for him.
I would like to see all Republican women or any woman who voted for Republicans or Trump to be gang raped on national television. I think that would be just very cathartic for us normal humans to see these, I guess, humans just absolutely destroyed on national television. If you see Randy Newman, tell him hi for me.
Dude, look at that fucking beard. Holy shit. Can you even call that a beard? That shit needs to be shaved off immediately. You got like, looks like pubes on your face pretty much, bro. Like, what the fuck is that thing? Your testosterone levels are so low you can't even grow fucking facial hair properly. Like, why don't you get off fucking TikTok and go hit the gym? Maybe like try to regain some masculinity at all. Absolutely pathetic. Just gross. The ACLU released video of ICE arresting Mahmoud Khalil, taken by his pregnant wife. Note the plainclothes officers. So they got.
You're gonna be under arrest. So turn around.
Okay,
Stop
let's
resisting.
not.
Stop resisting.
Okay, he's not resisting. He's giving me his phone. Okay, he's not. I understand. He's not.
There he is. This dude, Mahmoud Khalil, gone. He's out. Goodbye. He's gone down to the federal penitentiary. Krasenstein threats. This dude, Ed Krasenstein, this guy that we've covered plenty of times on this channel. I have further communication with Darkstorm hacking group after Elon Musk claimed the IPs for the attack originated from Ukraine. They tell me the IPs did not originate from Ukraine and that they can attack again, a stronger attack this time, which they weren't able to do. So remember Twitter was down on like, what, Monday or something? This Darkstorm group tried to take credit for it, and then they were like, oh, we're totally going to take it down even stronger next time as proof that we took it over the first time. And this Ed Krasenstein guy was like, yes, I believe this story, flat out. And even if it's true, like, why would he be working with them to spread their message and, like, try to take down the public square and eliminate free speech? Like, why should these people, all named Steens, have access to the backbone of the internet when this is the type of shit that they're for? And here is Ed Krasenstein's true emotions. He cries out in pain as he strikes you. It's time something is done about this anti-Semitism. We are literally experiencing a digital holocaust. Meanwhile, he also said, white people will one day no longer exist. It's just a matter of time. Who cares? This guy. This guy. He also used to own the domains for a lot of very seedy website names, as we covered in the past, and I don't want to repeat them in hopes of not getting a channel strike. Here's some IIA assets in the wild found by Retard Finder. Anonymous ID verified retards. It's like, yes, this is Fedanon. Everyone knows this is Fedanon. They're not anonymous at all. Everyone knows who the guy is behind this account. And it's total fucking bullshit. This is not anonymous. It's some liberal lefty fucking nonsense. The fact that they call themselves anonymous is completely insane. They don't stand for any of the values of anonymous. Anonymous Central is the biggest LARPer ever to try to be what is anonymous. It's completely ridiculous. Next Meme Wars, probably very soon, because I have a shit ton of memes saved up for it, so any day now, when I get more time. This Styx Hexenhammer guy, one of these IIA assets, is a complete retard.
Yes, tonight is the night of the lunar eclipse. There'll be some special things going on during that. Ever heard of moon water? Ever heard of sanguinarianism? Yeah, it's going to be a fun time.
Ever heard of a guy LARPing as a bum pirate? Like, what the fuck is this shit that he's wearing? It's like the worst costume ever. And he once again is like showing off his gross bare chest. I cannot wait till this dude gets thrown back in New Orleans prison with like 5 or 6 homeboys. We get to hear about, the tales of Styx Hexenhammer in prison again. Because some of those were the funniest shit I ever heard in my life. This guy is a complete LARPer. I don't know why anyone would follow this dude. Literally puts 666 in his name because it's so edgy, man. It's so edgy to be a Satanist. Like, it's like also edgy to buy my clothes at Hot Topic. Anyways, here we have the internet's Daniel Doud, who is a complete fucking creep. And I didn't know all this shit until I heard it on the Hoax Wars show. This dude, Daniel Doud, who's got like paperwork against him that's no good. I'm not going to play the video. Let me just explain what I understand about the situation. So he goes around and tells people it was for being like out in public, like if you were at a school taking a piss and the cops caught you. That's what he tells people he has like, this record for. And then he says, oh, well, there's no way, like, they wouldn't give me custody of the kid I sexually assaulted if, that, like, kid is, like, got, like, anything against him or whatever. But the kid that he has custody of is not the kid in question that he was charged with this stuff for. So it was someone else's kid that he does not have custody of, and some sort of incident took place, according to Daniel Dowd's own words, took place in a bathroom when his mom left the bathroom and he was alone with the child in the bathroom. And then after that, the mom of that child pressed charges against this dude, and he was able to plea it down from like sexual assault against a minor. He pled it down to something like indecent exposure or something to a minor. But once again, it's, you know, gross and disgusting. This is who this dude is. I don't know why anyone on the internet would associate with him knowing that's what's going on with this dude. In my day, when I came on the internet and have been here since, these types of things, if there was stuff about like someone like that, that would be more than enough to like distance yourself from that person and or be like forced into making a video about them and being like, look, this dude is a complete fucking creep. No one should associate with him, right? Like, am I not wrong? Like, remember all the fucking shit they were all pissed off about that dude that no one even knew, that Gunk dude? And they were like, oh, Mr. Gunk is this evil person, and because none of you have said about how evil he is, you're all evil. And it's like, look, the people that we're talking about are all hanging out with this Daniel Doud dude, and none of them are calling him out. There's like a whole group of people that attack me and friends of mine, and they're like, oh no, Daniel Dowd's fine. We're fine with that because even though he's done all this creepy shit and continues to do creepy shit, which we're going to get into in a second here, it's totally fine because he hates Thomas Schoenberger. So because Daniel Doud hates Thomas, it's totally fine that he like sexually assaulted some fucking girl in his like mom's bathroom back in the day. It's totally fine that in the modern day and age, there's video of him feeding his 9-year-old or whatever child alcohol, and there's video of him accidentally hitting her with like some dragon bracelet, and then there's video of him telling her to go clean out her private parts on video. He said that to his 9-year-old daughter. Like, and you know what he's been doing in his meantime is he's been going out there on Omegle and trying to find minors so that he can stop them from doing illegal acts with adults, and then he gets their IP address so that he can contact their family in order to force them off these platforms. That's what he's doing. So this dude, with all this weird shit in his past, is going on to Omegle in his spare time. He's not out there trying to find a job. He's not out there contributing in any meaningful way to society. He's out there going on Omegle to find the IP addresses of underage children that are not supposed to be on there so that he can find their location in order to teach them a lesson and get them off of these platforms. Right. Right. That's what you're doing, bro. Uh-huh. That's not creepy or anything. And these people are advocating for this. Like these, what's her name? Angela G or something? Like, she fucking is out there being like, yeah, he's a great guy. He's out there saving minors. How dare you criticize him? It's like, what? He's doing what exactly? Do the authorities know that he's... I mean, that's like some straight up like, you know, we need to have a seat. Could you please come over here and have a seat, Daniel? Like, what the fuck is this dude up to on the internet? He's meeting minors on Omegle, intentionally looking through Omegle for underage children that are not supposed to be on there. And especially looking for the ones that are doing illegal acts with adults on there. That's what he's looking for. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. Like, how... hello? Anyone else, like, understand how fucking crazy that sounds? I guess not. So you can see the video there. This comes from the panel channel. This is where I saw.
So
this.
if you want some evidence, there's a video clip of this red witch. She's on a broom.
Make up whatever fucking story you want about me. I love being the villain. You fucking idiots.
Have you been getting more reported?
I got two faces. You know, right
I
now.
don't think people really understand what you do, Daniel.
Fucking losers. They would have fucking already painted a train with themselves if they did what I do. You would hate your life.
Just in a
You
nutshell,
wouldn't
so
smile
people
this much.
understand that when Daniel finds minors on all these fucking platforms that they're not supposed to be on, and they're commingled with adults doing gross shit, he's reporting.
So he's seeing them commingled with adults doing gross shit on these platforms. So he's admitting, and you're admitting, that he's going on there and seeing CP on like a regular basis. That's 100% illegal, especially if he's not immediately reporting that to the FBI. Like,
Reporting them to get them taken off that platform.
Oh, good.
You guys hear that?
He's going around and finding them so he can report them. That's what he's doing. He's saving all of the children by finding CP online.
This 37-year-old guy, he's almost 40, said, with Angela, child alcohol on stream recently, individual, and she has a black eye now. I just feel bad for his young daughter. I can't believe.
Yeah, you guys can go watch this on your own time. This is on the Panel channel. This dude's a total creep. That's all I gotta say about it. There's nothing really else you can even say. He's just a absolute total effing creep. Alright, on to the Belt and Road Wars, which is a topic we've discussed a lot. Here we have this asset of the banksters, of the Henry Kissinger and Associates group, talking about how they want to create this new, Eurasian empire.
Without Ukraine, Russia cannot become once more the empire. With Ukraine inside of Russian zone of control, it will become empire once more. That is a kind of law, nothing personal. This war or military operation, special military operation in Ukraine is about that. It is about geopolitics.
Yes, it's 100% about geopolitics, and it's 100% about them trying to establish this new Eurasian superstate. And this is what it's all about. And they won't talk about that. They knew what that was all about. They use these stupid terms like special military operation when it never was that. It was an invasion. Yeah, it's Dugin, Putin's right-hand man. And here you have Whitney Webb, previously worked for Russia-aligned Mint Press News, constantly cites communist-linked outlets like Zero Hedge and blames all the world's problems on the CIA. While the CIA is far from innocent, it's a classic tactic of anti-Western figures and used as a scapegoat. And basically, she never mentions, and you can go through her thing, she'll never mention anything to do with the FSB or the GRU, which of course have ties to the Epstein thing. There's a ton of them there. But somehow she missed all those. She missed the whole Habab Lubavitch ties between all of these people. Somehow missed all that, But was able to nail all of the anti-American stuff perfectly. And the anti-Israel stuff. She got that. That was allowed. But anything to do with Russia or any of those other countries, she's not allowed to touch. Like the whole Belt and Road Initiative that she missed somehow. And this dude also missed somehow. But it's not hard to miss these things when you're a foreign paid IIA asset, right? Which I'm not a fan of this Nimi Yamini guy, but he absolutely nailed Ian Carroll here. And Ian Carroll has refused to respond to any of my like stuff towards him. So, you know.
Ever wonder how
Ian Carroll, the new pizza party, you know, expert, of course. What year is it now? It's 2025. When did that come out again? These dudes just pop up out of nowhere. You have to wonder why. Like, why are they allowed to go on stuff like Joe Rogan with a huge audience out of nowhere and talk about this stuff?
Carroll got famous out of nowhere? 1 minute, no one's heard of him. Next minute, he's everywhere. Rogan, podcasts, social media, viral clips. Isn't that odd? When things move that fast, there's usually money behind it. And then there's, who's Whitney Webb? Ian's out here promoting her books like it's the best thing since sliced bread. But here's what Ian won't tell you. Whitney Webb's work is published by MAHA, a Palestinian activist with a clear political agenda. Don't believe me? Her face is in my tweet reply. Check the receipts if you think I'm lying. And here's the part that's sort of dark comedy. Ian and his Qatari-backed bot farm will smear anyone who asks obvious questions. They'll slander your name, your motives, but they won't go near this fact. Ian says follow the money in his profile. Okay, let's do that. But why does that rule only apply to Israel, Ian? Never Qatar, huh? Never you, huh? So let's ask the honest question. Ian, who's paying you? What country are you working for while you're busy dividing Americans and undermining Israel? This isn't accidental. This is coordinated. And it is funded. The only way this ends is if people wake up. So if you're American, share this video to break the machine.
Yeah, and this guy, you know, he does nail. The thing that's important here is not what he's necessarily saying, is the fact that he did actually. You can see here, this is one of the women funding all this crap. You know, there's like a network of these dudes that are all, you know, pro the Belt and Road Initiative in these countries. Like when they brought the Belt and Road Initiative into Syria, you had that dude like praising it, and like none of these people like Whitney Webb or any of them will touch it because they're being paid by people that are pro Belt and Road Initiative, right? Like this person, MAHA, right? So that's who's paying Whitney Webb. We already know who's paying this dude. Like this dude's being paid by Israel. So that's not like a hard one to understand. And he's all mad because they're very anti-Israel, so he's like straight out calling them out. But it's just the two sides fighting. Like here you have the Israeli shill, and with Whitney Webb and Ian Carroll and all them, you have the, you know, pro Belt and Road, pro China, pro Russia, you know, pro Iran, pro Qatar shills. It's just different flavors of, you know, the same bullshit. That's why these people are so popular on the internet. Meanwhile, the banker World War III is still going great. And here is the current, this explains the current relationship between Israel and the United States pretty well. Pretty much absolutely nails it.
I have done nothing wrong, ever, in my life.
I know this. And I love you.
I love you too, Daddy. Money, please! My money.
Yep, there you go. My money. You've done nothing wrong, and we love you. Just take our money, please. Christian woman was yelling, "Christ is king," in occupied Jerusalem. An Israeli Jew then spilled water on her, saying, "This is Israel, it belongs to Jews. There's no place for you here." And so, why is saying Christ is king, how is that, like, bothersome to anyone? Like, that's just a statement of fact. Why would that be bothersome to me? Like,
What do you want? No! This is Israel! Joy! Joy! I'm from Carroll! Jewish! Hallelujah! India! India! Go to India! Go to India! This is Joy! Go to India! Go to India! Here, Israel! I'm very blessed! You're not allowed to Israel! I love you, my brother! Yeshua is the King of Kings! Jesus Christ! Yeshua is the King of Kings! Yeshua is the King of Kings! Jesus is the King of Kings! Jesus is the King of Kings! Jesus is Jewish Messiah!
So the most persecuted religion on earth is Christianity. You can go and Google that if you want and fact check me, but that is a fact. And, you know, the people trying to spread it around the globe face a lot of, adversity to that, and it's just increasing and increasing. And you don't see that for other religions. People don't, like, get all perturbed by, like, people preaching other stuff, you know. But when it happens to be Christianity, it becomes like a big problem. And our government and the banksters are very fond of putting people into power that are no good for Christians at all. The like crazy terrorists that have taken over Syria again because of, outside influence, those crazy nutbag terrorists that are now running Syria are just like rounding up Christians and murdering them, because they're Christian. So it's just insane. This is the types of people that they put in charge, and it's not even for America's benefit. As you can see here from the WikiLeaks cable, Hillary Clinton email, Israeli intelligence says collapse of Syria will spark a Sunni Shiite war that will benefit Israel. And that's because when Syria is in conflict and the country is at war with itself, then the population decreases and Israel can continue to grow and take over territory. And Syria won't be in a position to stop them. See how that works? Did you go to Hargrove, Michigan? I had been to Michigan to... God, I went to a, Tardec facility there, which is like a big military facility. I don't know where in Michigan that was. But I have been to a place in Michigan for work. It was right near Detroit, if I remember correctly. Most persecuted religion on earth. British police take away Christian preacher's microphone. Meanwhile, Muslims can pray in streets, give away Qurans, and spread Islam by any means. And you can see this dude is just preaching the Bible, and this cop's going to take his stuff away and be very aggressive towards him. It's just more proof that Christianity is heavily persecuted, even in Western nations like England, where you would think it would be a place that's free to go out there and spread the gospel, but no, it's not.
To hear about the last part, about repentance from sin, and then I can... Right, okay. So we must... What have you been hearing? I have not made any homophobic comments or slurs at all. I've been preaching about repentance from sin. I've been preaching about repentance from sin. It's the camera. I've been preaching the gospel of God through the Bible.
Candace Owen talks about this a lot. Not sure if you watch her. I don't watch her, but my wife watches her all the time. And I get all these updates about the Macrones and the Candace Owens investigation into the Macrones. I've been getting the full on, every day, the new update on how the Macrons are not what they claim to be gender-wise. It's very funny. Anyways, so there's a lot of stuff going on in the war front. See here. Ukrainian Navy used an unmanned boat to carry 2 FPV drones behind enemy lines to strike exquisite Russian air defense systems in the video released below. So it's been a drone war, to say the least. Yeah, I've heard that she's been doing pretty good work lately, Candace Owens. And she's like, as far as I know, I haven't heard like her name. She's not promoted in the feed or anything. So you got to think maybe she's saying some stuff that they don't like, and that's why you don't hear her name much anymore. I don't know. Who knows who's real and who's not anymore? You know, all I can say is I'm real, and you know, I can just try to judge other people based on my experience in this world of truth telling. Russia plans drone factory in Belarus near NATO's east borders. So, like, Russia has been just pumping out drones. This has been a drone war. Like, I don't know if any of you have been paying attention, but it's been absolutely insane. They're trying to figure out new ways to stop drones. One of the things that I was talking with some people about is, you know, using acoustics, because all of these drones have like a super high pitch to them. You know, the little like whir that the little blades have, because they're using such tiny little blades. They have these like high pitch noise that come off them, and you can hear that from a really long way away. So one of the easiest ways to detect these things is through acoustics, especially when they're flying too low for radar, but you can definitely pick them up acoustically. You can hear them from like a way off. So there's like various ways that they're trying to develop like anti-drone technology and whatnot, and because they've been so effective in this war. And like not just expensive, like very expensive Western drones. The Russians are like taping this shit together, and so are the Ukrainians. They're like taping together these like handmade drones, and they're like super effective because they fly so friggin' low, right? And they just strap like a camera to it, and it turns it into a drone. It's like insane. They're coming up with all types of ways to just like mass build these things. So without a factory, you know, like out in the field. So it's been crazy. The Chinese are building stealth aircraft. You can see here, China's J-20 goes beast mode. Stealth fighters now flying with 8 PL-15 long-range missiles on external pylons, boosting firepower but reducing stealth. Future loadout could reach 16 missiles. Thanks again to the invaluable contribution of open source intelligence, the specialist community has identified a new air-to-air configuration for the Chinese People's Liberation Army Air Force's J-20 stealth fighters. So you can see this thing. So, and obviously that's a staged video by the Chinese government. You can see the flag there. Like, they had that guy set up there to record that, obviously. So... So you see these things are, you know, basically going to be competitive with like the F-35 system. So what you're going to have here is the United States is going to have to roll out something more advanced than the F-35 to stay ahead of this thing. And you can just see the, you know, defense contractors are just like licking their chops that this thing even exists, because that just means a lot of more contracts for R&D to develop the next more advanced fighter than this thing. You know how it goes. But who knows? Maybe it's not a fighter. Maybe it's just you have swarms of drones and you don't have like a more advanced fighter because you take the human out of the, you know, the thing entirely. Who knows? You can see here North Korea. The satellite images came out, and it was pretty interesting because due to the snow melt, you could see what was going on at the facility. So you can see newly dug holes, personnel. You can see these squared holes down there. Imagery from January 31st, roof and long building separating two sets of holes have been removed. February 9th, the building was completely raised along with two others at the compound. February 22nd, a rectangular excavation alongside one of the series of holes that appeared. Machinery can be seen operating between the sets of holes. So this is all at a nuclear facility in North Korea. You can see the snow melting here from the thermal plant. You can see. It's pretty amazing how accurate the satellite imagery is of this type of stuff. I mean, U.S. forces can see basically everything in a country. This is all imagery from North Korea, a nuclear facility in North Korea, mind you. And we have access to it as the public. So you can see everything they're up to. And because they didn't clear the snow off stuff and the snow melts, gives you an idea of like what parts of the facility are being used, where there's radioactive stuff going on because it melts the snow over the tubes. So it's a really interesting article if you want to dig further into it. So you can see here they had a big-time Chinese simulation. And what they did here is they simulated a engagement between the Chinese military and the U.S. And what they did is they had like a whole array of Chinese drones against just like a couple of Arleigh Burke destroyers. So it was like a couple of destroyers from the U.S. against an entire fleet of Chinese with a huge mass of drones. And their idea is they used the drone swarm to basically overwhelm the U.S. destroyers. And that allows the Chinese ships to engage them without taking any hits. So simulated their Type 055 destroyer equipped with a kill web of unmanned systems, facing off against 8 Arleigh-Burke-class destroyers. They claimed it survived unscathed. The Chinese Type 055 was accompanied by 2 unmanned motherships carrying 32 drones, 14 unmanned boats, and an array of missiles. In the simulation, the American ships fired 32 Tomahawk and LRASM stealth anti-ship missiles at the Chinese formation. Each small unmanned boat carried around 2 short-range and 1 medium-range air defense missiles. With the kill web covering all angles, these missiles were deployed before they could reach the 055. It was reported the 055 escaped the confrontation without damage and with enough supplies left to withstand another attack. Key component of the exercises was the economic comparison between the two sides. The U.S. missiles cost between $1 million and $3 million each, while Chinese defensive counterparts are about 1/3 the price. This cost disparity suggests China could sustain prolonged engagements at a much lower financial burden. So obviously there's, some fear-mongering there because it wasn't like a normal engagement. It's not a normal U.S. You're not going to just come across 8 Arleigh-Burke destroyers. They'd have other stuff, in support of those. But this is the type of stuff that China is simulating and looking at. So another thing that I thought was interesting that we've covered in the past was these submarine cables. And they're talking about this here. Submarine cables, the weakest link in Europe's strategic infrastructure. Succession of major incidents has raised alarm bells and called into question the security of pipelines that are increasingly important for a continent's communication and energy. And here you can see, the various pipelines of these data streams. So you can see here, this one here had been cut, right? This one here had been cut. So these new data streams that we've talked about in the past, which if you look at the global map of them, they all flow from, all of the stuff from Asia flows through Israel, especially all the stuff in the Middle East. All the stuff from Africa flows up through Israel and then into Europe. And then all the stuff from Europe that flows back into those two areas flows through Israel back. So Israel's at the very centerpiece of all these new data pipelines, which are like the new oil pipelines, except they're just carrying energy and they're carrying communications. So together with extremely complex cyber universe, they are the great Achilles heels of the European critical infrastructures. Underwater interconnections, whether energy, gas, and electricity or data, have been revealed in the last 3 years since the beginning of the Russian invasion of Ukraine as one of the weakest flanks of the community ecosystem. Did I not say this countless times that the internet critical infrastructure is being targeted and that these things are the most important parts of that system? 5 major incidents, all subject to ongoing investigations, have set off alarm bells and called into question the security of this tangle of hundreds of pipes, the importance of which has grown exponentially in recent decades. Till February 2022, when the war in Ukraine began, the continent's seabed was believed to be impregnable. The recent succession of unprecedented outages added an additional layer of turmoil to the European Union. Although still unproven, the suspicion of sabotage is strong and has forced action. NATO announced in mid-January the deployment of frigates, maritime patrol aircraft, and naval drones to help protect critical infrastructure in the Baltic, the sea that concentrates the bulk of the most serious incidents. Brussels called in recent weeks for rapid and decisive measures to protect these critical infrastructures, and the International Telecommunication Union, dependent on the UN, created a specific body in December of last year to guarantee greater resilience of these cables. Facts and statements confirm the evidence far from disappearing, and concern is growing. So you do not want to see what happens if they cut the cables across all these things and Europe goes dark, right? This is the stuff that, you thought COVID was bad. If they cut the power or cut the communications from a country, it's gonna, shit will go down. It will not be good. It'll not be good at all. Lots of people will die from that. So anyways, thank you guys all for watching. I appreciate it. Gonna end with just a song to get us out of here. I hope you guys had a enjoyable show. I thought I brought you guys some pretty interesting information there. Stuff that comes straight out of people from the intelligence community and what they're talking about there at the end of the show. So just sort of interesting stuff for you guys to mull over, share if you guys think it was useful. Basically how this works on this channel is I do the live stream here. I'll leave the live stream on this YouTube channel for about until I do the next show. And then I move it over to my backup channel, which is Titus Frost's Revenge. So that has about 200 subscribers or so. So if you want to see the previous show, or you want to see this show after I move it over there, that's where it is. So make sure to go and look at all of my other channels where I'm publishing content so you know it's me. And subscribe to those because I have a bunch of Titus Frost channels. They all have my name on them, so you know it's me, and it's got my picture and all that. But, if it doesn't have my content on there, it's not my videos, then it's not me, right? Anyways, thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you have a wonderful night. So take care, everyone. Enjoy a little, stupid song at the end here, and I will see you guys hopefully soon for Meme Wars, and again soon for another Spitting Truth with Titus. And I'm making a documentary for you guys about the pizza party stuff. So that'll come out probably in a couple months. But I'm starting to gather all the information and the links and all that stuff, all the show notes I'm putting together now for that. So if you guys want to help contribute to that, you can. You can reach out to me and get my email, or you can hit me up on Twitter or wherever, and I will take any information you want to contribute to that and add it to the documentary. So peace out, or the news show, or whatever. If you guys have suggestions for the news show, stories you want me to cover, hit me up. All right? Hit me up on Twitter. That's probably the easiest way to get me. All right? Peace, everyone. Have a wonderful night, and take care out there.
Apart. City burns, you feel the shock. Underground, we hide below. Pyramids of ancient glow.